Yo, welcome to another episode of the Damn Two Sports Talk Show. This your boy Rap Sneaks, um, bringing you new content live, Atlanta, Georgia. Um, we're gonna get straight to it. But before we do it, man, shout out to AIG Productions for helping orchestrate and put this together, making this happen. Um, if you're watching on YouTube, tap the notification bell so you can get notifications on new content. Subscribe to the page, like the content, and we'll continue to bring it. But we're gonna get to it. As you can see on the screen. Actually, I'll blow it up a little bit bigger so you can see it. We all know LeBron James' son, Bronny James, got drafted today, 55th overall pick to the LA Lakers. But it came with a little controversy. As you can see, according to Bob Myers, that is, who's the former general manager of the Golden State Warriors, said Rich Paul is telling teams not to draft Bronny James. That if they do, they would. If they do pick him, he'll go to Australia rather than sign him. And that's according to Woj. So that's huge. That's huge. Again, you got Rich Paul pulling the strings and orchestrating the moves over there for LeBron James in LA. And this has been part of the plan the whole time. You just look at the situation over there in LA, it's just been part of the plan the whole time. Look at the timeline of events that's taking place over there in LA. The first step to getting the plan executed was getting Darvin Ham out the way. Because they know Darvin Ham wasn't going for the bullshit. So they had to get him out the way. Then they had to get the coach in there that's going to be the puppet. That's going to be the yes man, which is now JJ Redick. I call him JJ Headache because I think that's what it's going to be over there in LA. It's going to be a headache. So now they got out and JJ Headache in. That's part of the plan that they put together. And I said this before. I said this, and a lot of people thought I was crazy when I said this. But I said that even though the Lakers are willing to re-sign LeBron for whatever the maximum amount is for 3 years or whatever, I told a lot of people that LeBron is not going to sign until everything on the checklist is checked off. The first thing they got checked off was the firing of Darvin Ham, which in my opinion, there was some sucker shit going on then. But that was around the same time they started that podcast with JJ Redick, which, by the way, wasn't really a podcast. It was just them sitting down, giving him an interview before the Lakers did, basically telling them, this is the guy who I want y'all to hire. And if you Darvin Ham, you got to be feeling some type of way. Because during the season, it was rumored that him and LeBron wasn't seeing eye to eye. And then it came out that it was rumored that Darvin Ham would more likely be fired after the season. And that's exactly what happened. Darvin Ham got fired after the season. And all while this was going on, LeBron go and start a podcast. Your player go and start a podcast with another guy sitting down talking X's and O's from a coaching standpoint. And you on the hot seat fighting for your job. And you got your star player doing a podcast with another guy who ain't got no coaching experience, talking X's and O's, and the one that's about to be in your spot, in your position. To me, that was some sucker shit from the get-go. I seen the writing on the wall then. LeBron then comes out and says he had nothing to do with the hiring of JJ Redick. He let the Lakers front office do the hiring of JJ Redick. He had no input on it. At this point, if you LeBron James, you don't necessarily have to say what you want done. They can tell what you want done by your actions. They already knew that you wanted JJ Redick. Why in the hell would you go and start a podcast with JJ Redick talking to those from a head coach standpoint? At that point, you don't have to tell them directly that you want JJ Redick as your head coach. They see what's going on. They see what you're doing. You showing them by your actions that this is the guy that you want to come in and be your head coach. So they fired Darvin Ham. They got him out the way because they know he wasn't going to go for the bullshit. See, this is all part of the plan that Klutch Sports them had over there in LA. And this kind of stuff I've been trying to tell y'all. This is the stuff that they got going on over there in LA. You get rid of a coach that took you to the Western Conference Finals to bring in a coach who ain't got no head coach experience at all. You bring in a guy who got DUI arrest. Bring in a guy who now just a couple of days ago allegations of him using racial slurs towards a black woman, and it was another female that they alleged that he used racial slurs against. Then you bring him in, and he ain't got no coaching experience. On top of that, like I said, you had the podcast with JJ Redick talking X's and O's from a head coaching standpoint. So you got that going on. And now you got Rich Paul threatening teams. You see it on the screen, according to Bob Myers. Like I said, who was the former general Golden State Warriors. He was calling teams, threatening them not to draft Bronny James. Calling all the teams except for the Lakers to not draft Bronny James. And if they did, Bronny was going to go to Australia and play. Which, first of all, if I couldn't be an NBA owner. Couldn't be me. Because I would have told Rich Paul something on that phone. I would have just cut through the bullshit on the phone with Rich Paul. I would have called him bluff. I would have said, no, you ain't going to Australia. Because I know that y'all didn't work this hard to move the pieces around that y'all needed. Trying to they've already laid out the play that they're trying to put together, or is going to put together, because they just put it together. Everybody know that. Why wouldn't some team take Bronny anyway and use him as collateral and trade bait to get more assets? I sat there and thought hard about that. I sat there and thought about, now what if a team like Boston, who had the 54th pick, ahead of the Lakers, who had the 55th pick, why wouldn't they take Bronny James? Not because they need him or want him. Now, I understand that they could have used him if they had drafted him, but that's not the guy that they actually wanted and needed, but they could have used him. Why don't a rival team like the Boston Celtics take him a pick right before the Lakers pick at 54 and the Lakers pick at 55? Why wouldn't they take him, use him as collateral, and make the Lakers trade to get him? I sat there and thought about that from a business standpoint. Why wouldn't they do that? And then boom, this story come out. I mean, you can't make this shit up. This come out. Rich Paul called teams, threatening them not to draft Bronny. And if they do, they will leave and go to Australia. Let me blow it up so you can see. That's recording to the porch right there. He's telling teams not to draft Bronny. And if they do pick him, he'll go to Australia rather than sign with him and play. Yeah, and I sat there a long time and thought about it. I was like, okay, why wouldn't teams, if they got this information out there and everybody knows this, why wouldn't the team draft him anyway? Use him as collateral for the Lakers and get more assets if the Lakers really want him. So what could they have really done if somebody did take money other than the Lakers? I would have called them bluff, because I know damn well y'all didn't move the pieces around the board just for the end goal to be Bronny playing in Australia. Bronny could have went and played in Australia without y'all doing all this. So I would have called him bluff. He wasn't going to. He was never going to Australia. That's just what he said. That was just a scare tactic for guys not to take Bronny. He never was going to Australia. They didn't put this much work into moving the pieces around the way they needed to move them around to get in the position that they in for him to end up playing in Australia. That never was gonna be the end goal. That was just the bullshit that they sold to them other GMs. I would have took him anyway and dared him to go to Australia. But guess what? I still own his rights. So even if he had came back, I still own his rights. And you still, if you want him, you was not going. That never was the end goal. So I don't understand what, I mean, they got a lot of power over there. They flexing a lot of power over there with Klutch Sports. And like I said earlier in my previous videos on Instagram, Klutch Sports and LeBron pretty much got the Lakers in the NBA by the hog tied by the nuts right now. And that's exactly what they got the Lakers hog tied by the nuts right now. They got a checklist of shit that they want the Lakers to do, and the Lakers have to do it in order for LeBron to resign. So right now, first thing that was on the list was to get Darvin Ham out of there. He gone. Second thing was to hire JJ Redick, the puppet. The guy that's gonna be the mouthpiece for everything that's going on over there that LeBron won't done and Klutch Sports won't done. So they got him in. The third thing was to get Bron drafted. Well, Bronny was gonna get drafted anyway. They got him over there to the Lakers with the 55th pick. They've been talking about this for weeks. So they've been talking about this for weeks. Why the hell nobody else was bold enough to take him and use him as collateral and trade bait to get more assets for their team and franchise moving forward? I never understood that. And then it come out today that he threatened teams that Bronny will go to Australia and play if he was selected by somebody other than the Lakers. Now, do you guys think that the former commissioner, David Stern, would have went for that shit the same way Adam Silver going for it? I don't see David Stern going for this shit the way that Adam Silver going. They pretty much playing bully ball with the league. They got a lot of high-end clients over there. I know everybody's not signing Klutch Sports, but they got a lot of star power over there signing them. And a lot of time, well, most of the time, damn near all the time, the teams ain't talking directly to the front offices. The teams are going through the agents, and the agents are doing the talking with these front offices. And the front offices are going through the agents doing the talking with the player and the client. But over there in Klutch Sports, they got a lot of power. They flexing it. They moving around. They doing what they got to do to get what they want. They moving the pieces how they need to move them. They get what they want. Somebody help me to understand how the hell this came to fruition. How the hell did it get to this? And then everybody acting all surprised, like he fell that far, and he just fell. No, it was set up to be like that. They've been talking about this for weeks. They've been feeding lies for weeks. It came out that LeBron wanted to play with his son. Then LeBron came back and said playing with his son is not the main priority. It's not the main priority. How the hell did they end? Why the hell did Rich Paul end up calling teams threatening them not to take Bronny James, or else he would go overseas and play in Australia? They were just feeding them lies to y'all. They fed a lot of lies. They told a lot of lies. I don't even understand what the hell was the whole Dan Hurley thing was about. Because at the end of the day, your eyes was on JJ Redick. You were gonna get JJ Redick. I don't think they ever was gonna get Dan Hurley. I think that was just a smoke screen. I don't know why it was a smoke screen, because he's not like JJ Redick was some hot commodity that was out there being targeted by multiple teams. JJ Redick ain't got no coaching experience, none whatsoever. And he is now the head coach of one of the most historical, legendary franchises in the NBA, the LA Lakers. And not only are you coaching the LA Lakers, you're coaching LeBron James, so that means you're in mode. So you had a guy that fall to you to 17 pick in the draft, Dalton Knecht out of Tennessee. He fell to you. You drafted him. And then the play the whole time was to take Bronny James with the 55th pick. And they bullied people into not taking Bronny so he can fall to them at the 55th pick and they can select him. This has got to make sense somewhere. I don't understand it. It was a lot of lies fed in it. I mean, all that was for what? You already knew at the end of the day that you wanted JJ Redick to be your head coach. What was the whole smoke screen there about Dan Hurley? But you know why they didn't get Dan Hurley? Dan Hurley probably wasn't going for the bullshit that they had in their plans. That's probably why they didn't get Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley probably wasn't his putting himself on the line to go out to LA and leave a good situation that he had going in UConn to come all the way across country and put up with the bullshit. So that's exactly what's about to go on out there in LA. To me, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a divided locker room because you know they're gonna push to get Bronny minutes. They're gonna push to get him minutes. They didn't do all this maneuvering of pieces to not get Bronny minutes in play. And I get it. LeBron James is the cash cow. It's the first father-son duo in league history. I get that, and it's happening in LA. Like I said, LA is one of the historical, legendary franchises of the league. I get that. That's a big money play. Jeannie Buss going along with it because she's gonna be part of the big money play. The documentary that they're gonna put together over there in LA with LeBron James and his film company, I get all that. That's gonna be a big money play. The first father and son duo in the league. They put together under the production company. I get that. It's a big money play. But at the same time, if you was David Stern, would you? I mean, Adam Silver, how the hell you let some shit like this happen? It's not like nobody was gonna take the Bronny. Bronny was gonna go. Well, first of all, let me back up and say this. I think Bronny would have benefited from another year at USC. Foremost, that's what I personally think. But I still think that somebody was gonna take Bronny in this year's draft. He didn't have to fall all the way to 55. Somebody was gonna take him and do exactly what I thought they was gonna do from a business standpoint. They was gonna take him. They was gonna use him as collateral because they've been talking about this for weeks about Bronny being selected by the Lakers. Now, if they know the Lakers want to select him with the 55th pick, why the hell would nobody select him before the 55th pick? Use him as collateral and trade bait and make the Lakers trade for him so the team so they can pick up more assets for their future. That only makes sense from a business standpoint. They do this all the time with other players. They do this all the time with other players. So why the hell is something different or an exception for Bronny? Now I'm interested to see what the league gonna do if they talk about this. Because at the end, because if you think about it, at the end of the day, ESPN, they probably not gonna cover this. They probably ain't saying nothing about this. But remember, ESPN tried to crucify Kyrie over a retweet. Something that he didn't even originally tweet. It was originally tweeted by somebody else, and he just retweeted it. So don't question him or look at him for retweeting something. Look at who originally tweeted it. Because anybody could have retweeted it. It's just the fact that Kyrie was the one that did it, and ESPN got a hold to the story. They drug this story out for days and days and days. They crucified this man's name. They did all that shit. But yet you got a situation over there in LA where this is going on. Combined with the fact they hired a coach who ain't got no head coaching experience. And they don't want to, ESPN not digging into that. They don't want that. How the hell you get to be the head coach of the LA Lakers? You ain't got no experience. Not none. You got a DUI situation. You got a situation with racial slurs against two women I seen. It could be more than that, but it was two women that I read the reports on that he had used racial slurs with. Then he admitted to a drinking problem he had, drinking all them damn bills, drinking a case of damn beer a day. He admitted to all that, on top of not having no experience. And the Lakers just fired a guy who took him to the Western Conference Finals. On top of that, it was reported that now you got a lot of puppetness going on over there. You got a lot of clown shit going on over there now. Because it was reported before they hired JJ Redick that AD wasn't too fond and too high on JJ Redick being hired or being thought of being hired as the Lakers head coach. And then on top of that, the Lakers were already talking about LeBron said they need to hire somebody for the future of that team. Those were his words. Then ESPN came back and agreed that they need to find a coach that's going to fit with the young guys That's around the same time that they came in with the Dan Hurley interview and bringing him in as a head coach, as a head coaching candidate. They were talking about how good he could gel with the young guys moving forward with the future of that franchise. Because it's not like you got a 25, 26, 27-year-old LeBron James. You got LeBron James, he's got 2, maybe 3 years left in the league. So to that point, they needed to have a coach that could gel guys going into the future, especially a coach that Anthony Davis like. If player of that team, you needed the coach that he can build chemistry and get along with. So that's who they were supposed to be going out getting the coach for, the future, right? So reports came out that Anthony Davis wasn't too fond of having JJ Redick as the head coach in the Lakers, right? It's coming out that AD actually wanted the other guy. I can't think his name right now. He was an assistant down in New Orleans. That's the guy he actually wanted, and he also was a head coaching candidate for the Lakers. But I don't think he ever got the interview because they interviewed JJ Redick and ended up giving the job to JJ Redick. They interviewed Dan Hurley and JJ Redick, I believe. The other guy, he didn't actually get the interview because they had to narrow. He was a candidate, but they had to narrow the interviews down to those two guys. Dan Hurley got his interview. JJ Redick got his interview. Dan Hurley declined. Then JJ Redick got the interview and took the position. So if you sitting over there and you genie bust, you got a whole lot of shit on your hand over there. You got a whole lot of people that's on a puppet string over there in LA. And it's gonna be a whole lot of clown. It's gonna be a clown show over there. Because this is all part of the plan with Klutch Sports and got going on over there. This was all part of the plan the whole time over there in LA. First thing first was to get Darvin Ham up out of there. Because he was, like I said, he wasn't gonna go with the bullshit. He wasn't going for it. So then you get him out of there. And you do a podcast. Well, I ain't even gonna say a podcast. That was more of an interview telling the Lakers, this is the guy that you should that I want you to hire. They ain't on there interviewing other players or former players or telling basketball stories. They're on there drawing up plays, going over X's and O's from a head coaching standpoint. He's telling you this is the interview that you need to bring this guy in and hire him as the head coach. Now I understand you got to officially bring him into the facility and do an interview, but this is the interview prior to the interview. This is me telling you, this is me showing you this is the guy that we need to get rather than me just outright saying it. So there's a lot of bullshit going on over there in LA. And it's I mean, I'm curious to see the media, how they gonna cover this. How they gonna cover this? And how much of it they gonna cover? It's gonna come up, but I'm just curious to see how the ESPNs and the different analysts how they handle the conversation when it comes. How they gonna talk about this? What they gonna say? Because they talked about Kyrie for weeks. They drug him for weeks over a retweet. Something that he didn't even originally. First of all, you got to ask yourself, how the hell was he able to retweet it if it wasn't originally tweeted by somebody else? If somebody else never originally tweeted it, he couldn't have retweeted it. So they drug that man's name through the mud. They crucified that man. They did all that to Kyrie. Tried to end Kyrie. Tried to take him out the league. But then you got this type of shit going on over there in LA with Klutch Sports and LeBron. Orchestrating and pulling the strings and doing this, basically playing bully ball with the league. Got the league hard tied by the nuts doing what they want when they want. Now I'm curious to see how Rich Paul and Klutch move once LeBron retires. I'm quite sure they still gonna have big time clients signed over there to them. But I mean, and to be honest with you, I'm not hating on. I'm just saying, man, it's like I haven't seen this much hype around the 55th pick in the second round of the NBA draft. I've never seen this much hype around the second round, 55th overall pick. I've never seen this much hype. And I get it, it's LeBron James' son, and he gonna get talked about regardless. But the type of shit they doing over there, I mean, why lie? I mean, you ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta go from you just want your son to get drafted, this, that, and the third, to I want to play with my son Then you want your son to get drafted. Now and then you probably pull the string to have your son drafted by the Lakers to play with you. I mean, it would have been a good story for Bronny just being in the league. Just from a competitive standpoint, him playing against his daddy, not getting string pulls to play with his daddy. I mean, because now at this point, it's looking like a handout. It's not really looking like nothing earned. It's looking like something given more than it is earned. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth what it's looking like. And I mean, you can't sit here and look me in the face and tell me it don't look like that. That's exactly what it looked like. I mean, get it how you live, but to me, it would. This is just me, in my opinion. It would have been. It would seeing LeBron James and his son both in the league is something special because it's never been done before. Father son duo, it's never been. It ain't been done. So just seeing them in the league in general, playing up against his pops at some point on somebody's team, um, just would have been something to view. I don't even think the Lakers might be looking at Bronny James as a prospect that they would have drafted. I think they only did that because LeBron pulled the strings to have it done. LeBron and Klutch pulled the strings to have it done. If LeBron James was not in an LA Lakers uniform, the Lakers would not have drafted Bronny James. Let's just say for the sake of conversation, if LeBron was already retired out of the NBA, I don't think the LA Lakers would have drafted Bronny James. That would not have been a prospect that they would have drafted. Now NBA, he would have made it to the league, but I don't think the Lakers would have been a team looking to draft him. Looking at the current situation of the Lakers now, to be honest with you. And it was reported there was some other teams that could have selected Bronny just to have a shot at LeBron. But as the news that came out today, I mean, they killed all that. They killed all that. All that bunch of talk is a bunch of shit talk. They never was going to allow Bronny to go anywhere other than LA and become a Laker. That was the whole plan from the get go. That was the whole plan from the get go. How long JJ Redick gonna be the head coach in LA? I don't know. Because you just fired a coach that took you to the Western Conference Finals. Now you about to be on your fourth coach since you've been in LA if you LeBron. You came in with Luke Walton, he gone. You brought in Frank Vogel, got the bubble chip, he gone. You brought in Darvin Ham, got you to the Western Conference Finals, he gone. Now you're bringing in a coach who ain't got no experience. At least guys you get Frank Vogel had a coach from his Indiana days all the way up until he got to LA. He was a pretty solid guy. You got a bubble chip out of it. Then you let him go. Then you go and bring Darvin Ham in, who also has championship pedigree. He was on the Milwaukee Bucks coaching staff under Mike Budenholzer when they won the chip a few years. You bring him in. You talk highly of him and how he gonna be a good head coach, this, that, and the third, and then he gone. Now you bring in a guy who had absolutely no coaching experience at all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This right here was the only way that they could have gotten things to go in their favor the way they wanted to go. That's how they got the strings pulled. They had to get Darvin Ham out of there. They had to get a guy out of there who wasn't going for the bullshit and get a guy in there who would go for it in JJ Redick. He ain't got no coaching experience. And for him to even have this job, how in the hell did he get this job? How in the hell do you think the LA Lakers, or why in the hell you think the LA Lakers will hire a guy who got no coaching experience when they in win now mode? That's ass backwards to me. Why not go and get a coach with experience? Why not go and get a coach with championship pedigree? Why not go and get a coach that fit the mold of your team as it is right now? If you in win now mode. But instead, you go and get a coach that ain't got no experience. They got a damn alcohol problem, and facing backlash with the racial slur allegations and stuff that you got going on with the women. I mean, you got to open your eyes and look at this kind of stuff because this stuff don't make sense. I promise you, I couldn't have been an NBA owner. If I got a call from Rick Paul, I would have told his ass something on the phone then. Listen, I would have called him bluff. I would have said, I'm doing it. And I want you to send him to Australia. I know that ain't what you really want to do. You just threatening me not to draft him, but I know you really don't want to send him to Australia. Think about it. What kind of sense would that make? LeBron James' son, Bronny James, playing in Australia when the end goal was for him to be in the NBA playing with his daddy in an LA Lakers uniform. So what he was gonna do? Go to Australia and play until his daddy retire, and then come to the NBA? That wasn't the goal. That wasn't the play they was trying to put together. That wasn't the end goal. Was to have them two playing together. So I would have drafted him and made him prove to me that he was gonna go to Australia. And even if he did go to Australia, like I said, guess what? I still own the rights. So what the hell could they do? They couldn't do a damn thing but go along with what was going on. And if you want him, what are you willing to trade to get him? Now, what would have been all time petty if you had a team like Boston, like I said, who was picking 54 for pick ahead of the Lakers at 55, and they drafted him, coming fresh off an NBA championship, and that's the ardent rival of the Lakers. Now, that would have been all time pettiness, and then made the Lakers trade what they wanted over there to get him, you know, even if it was nothing but some picks. I mean, Boston always get the best, utilize the best of their picks. In recent from my recent memory and history, they utilize their picks well. So, even if you didn't get nothing but some picks back, those are some extra picks you didn't have. They're basically free picks because you probably had no plans on using Bronny anyway. So, you might as well use some type of assets to get something back. Use them as an asset to get some assets back. That's free assets, pretty much. But yeah, man, I'm real interested to see how they're gonna cover this over there at ESPN. How the sports media gonna, if they cover it or if they talk about it. I seen it online. I wasn't watching. I was watching the coverage, but I missed the part where Bob Myers brought it up. I seen it online, but like I said, when I was watching, I was in and out, so I missed the time live on TV where Bob Myers was talking about it. But I did see online from several different sources that that's what was going on with Rich Paul and Klutch Sports. They were calling teams, informing them not to draft Bronny James, other than the Lakers. And because remember, he only worked out for two teams, the Suns and the Lakers. That was it. I read two separate reports. I read reports. The only two teams that Rich Paul didn't call to not draft James were the two teams that the only two teams he worked out for, which were the Lakers and the Suns. Then I saw another report a little bit later on that read that he called everybody except just the Lakers and told them not to draft Bronny, otherwise they're gonna leave and go to Australia. So it went from the Suns and Lakers to just the Lakers. So I don't know, man. It's just a bunch of I don't know, man. I can't respect that. I'm just curious to see how much of this they're gonna get into, and how is this not tampering? You know what I'm saying? How is this not? The players they've been setting this up for weeks. They just been slow rolling it, making it seem like this is the proper process that you got to go through to get this and that done. But they really been had this thing ironed out and set up for. They just breaking this thing down in slow mo so it won't look so obvious. But if you see and pay attention to what's going on, like you really can tell. I mean, it's nothing. It's I mean, they not even hiding it at this point. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I don't know what the hell, how they lose over there in LA or what the hell they got going on over in LA. But I mean, it's a clown show, man. It's a clown show. It's really a clown show. But if you ever look at it and really pay attention, um, LeBron really is the coach. He's the GM. Um, he pull all the strings to get any and everything he wanted wherever he go. You know, the only place he went and that didn't work was in Miami. I remember him and Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of Miami. I remember they weren't seeing eye to eye, and it was reported that LeBron tried to get him fired, and Pat Riley stepped down and took up for Eric Spoelstra and said, "This is my guy." You know what I mean? So he tried it in Miami, and they wasn't going for that bullshit. So obviously Pat knows something because the Miami Heat was just in the NBA Finals last season against the Denver Nuggets, and then they played LA in the bubble in the finals bubble in the finals in which the Lakers won. So you know, I mean, great players don't always make great GMs. I mean, I hate to bring this up because he ain't got nothing to do with this conversation, but if you look at what Mike did with the Charlotte Hornets when he had him, when he was they made horrible picks. They didn't make good signings. They didn't make good trades. They didn't draft well. And Mike is arguably in a lot of people's eyes the GOAT. Some people say LeBron, some people say Mike, but he didn't make good decisions over there concerning that franchise. And to me, it seemed like this is what's going on over there in LA. Not a lot of good decisions not being made. I mean, if you look at what they did doing over there in LA, or what they did over there in LA, it's like a lot of that stuff didn't work out for them. You know, they went and made the move for Russell Westbrook. They wanted Russell Westbrook. They went and made the move for Russell Westbrook. That was the guy LeBron wanted. They went out and made it happen. You know, when they could have probably went and got a DeMar DeRozan, a Buddy Hield, which was a better fit. They didn't go that route, but instead they went and got Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook didn't work. The Russell Westbrook situation didn't work. So and then once that didn't work, they were all jumping for joy when he came over there. Once that didn't work, then all the blame and all the finger pointing went to Russell Westbrook. And then he got out of there. And once he got out of there, he actually looked better over there with the Clippers than he did when he was with the Lakers. And like I said, a better fit would have been DeMar DeRozan and Buddy Hield. And DeMar DeRozan, I thought it was all but a done deal that he was going to be an LA Laker. But then it didn't happen. The Russell Westbrook thing happened. So that ain't happened. So that really didn't. So that's a move over there that ain't really happening to work out for him. Then you missed out. The situation is two different stories out there about Kyrie when he was leaving Brooklyn, how he wanted to be in LA, and how Brooklyn wasn't going to trade him to his destination, this, that, and third. But I don't believe that. Reports came out that the Lakers weren't willing to include Austin Reeves in the deal. Brooklyn wanted Austin Reeves in the deal, and the Lakers were unwilling to include Austin Reeves in the deal, and that's why it didn't happen. And then it came out that Joe Tsai said they wasn't going to send Kyrie to his preferred destination, which I think that was a damn lie. Because I can guarantee you that if the Lakers had initially included Austin Reeves in that package deal, they would have sent Kyrie to LA to be a Laker. But the fact that the Lakers refused to include Austin Reeves in that deal, then Joe Tsai come out and say they wasn't going to send him to his preferred destination. You only said that because you didn't get what you wanted from the Lakers in exchange to give up Kyrie. So yeah, you say that you wasn't going to send him over there. So if you the Lakers, you basically kept Austin Reeves and didn't get Kyrie because you kept Austin Reeves. And I also read that LeBron wasn't happy about that move. He wanted Kyrie. So you could possibly be sitting on Kyrie, AD, and LeBron now. But instead, Kyrie just, even though he didn't win, he just fresh off NBA Finals appearance. So you got a lot of shit going on over there in LA. A whole lot of shit going on over there in LA. I think LA is not going to, I mean, I don't even know how or where LA going to start to get back being the LA that we know to be. They're not even attracting big time free agents over there. They always going to be rumored and connected to free agents, but do free agents really want to go over there now? I mean, it's the LA Lakers. They're going to be rumored, talked about. It's like they always going to be talked about. They the Lakers. They always going to be connected to a trade. They always going to be connected to a drafting a player. They always going to be connected to a free agent signing. They're not actually getting those free agent signings like they used to. They're not actually making those blockbuster deals like they used to. Yeah, you made a blockbuster deal to get AD, but all the pieces that you used to get rid to get AD, look what they became turned into. But except for Alonzo Ball with the bad knees, all the other guys who you had over there turned out to be quality players. Julius Randle, quality player. Brandon Ingram, quality player. Josh Hart, quality player. Kuzma. You had Zuba. You know, you gave up a whole lot to get, and now you can't make other moves. I mean, it's I don't know what the hell is going on over there with Jimmy Buss and the Lakers, but it's a lot of bully. I mean, they really being held twisted up by the nut by Klutch and LeBron over there in LA. Example of it. When I read that shit today, I couldn't believe it. I said, he doing what? He's threatening other teams not to take Bronny. And if they do, they're going to Australia. I would have double dared him to send Bronny to Australia. You know how stupid that would have made them look? They went through all this to position of the pieces on the board to get in this position just for him to go to Australia. That would have been so fucking stupid on their behalf. They would have been looking so stupid. LeBron James' son, who went to USC, is now going to play in the Australian League. You know how dumb and stupid that would have made them look? They did all this moving pieces on the board to get in this position just for his son to go to Australia. But I'm willing to bet that if another team took Bronny James, I'm willing to bet the Lakers still would have pulled some type of strings or pulled some type of trades out of their ass to trade for him and get him from whoever drafted him. I'm willing to bet. Now it might have not been. Now they might have had control over what they give and they might have agreed to some small amount or whatever and some future picks or whatever. But that would have been an asset that you didn't have that you now have because you took Bronny James. Because I can guarantee that's not where they wanted Bronny James to be. They didn't want him to be in no fucking Australia. And go. All that would have been for what? That would have been so stupid for them to pull this string and that string and position themselves just to have his son over there in Australia. That definitely wasn't even the end. That wasn't even a thought of goal. So for him to say that, somebody had to believe that he was lying. I don't understand why somebody didn't try to pull his card on that, because I damn sure would have. You called me talking about don't draft Bronny James, and if I do, he's going to Australia, I would have called him a bluff. I would say you and him both know y'all ain't going to Australia because that ain't what y'all set these pieces up to move around and position yourselves to do. You position just to at least get him in the NBA. But the ultimate goal was to get him in an LA Laker uniform with his daddy, not to be in fucking Australia playing ball. So yeah, I'm gonna call you a bluff because I know y'all been setting this play up for a while. It's been weeks talked about leading up to the draft how Bronny, the Lakers had the 17th pick, and if he was still there at the 55th pick, that they were gonna take him. Now, for them to say that if he still be there at the 55th pick, they had to have this shit lined up prior to just the day. This shit had to be lined up for weeks prior because they were saying weeks ago, if he's still there at 55, they're gonna take him. So they've been telling you for weeks that they're gonna take Bronny James with the 55th pick. So you got all the way up into the 54th pick if you're another team to take him. And nobody took a chance on taking him and use that as collateral to get more assets and make the Lakers trade for him if that's who they really wanted. I think it was just today that Rich Paul was calling teams and telling them not to draft Bronny. I think he been calling teams because ain't no way in the hell you call every team in the league today and told them that. Because it was already suspicious that he only worked out for two teams, the Suns and the Lakers. To me, that was kind of fishy. So they had this play, they had this in play for weeks now. Because for you to only for you to only work out for two teams and then come out and say that if he's there with the 55th pick, sitting there, if the Lakers they sitting at the 55th pick and he's still on the board, they gonna draft him. So he's been calling teams for weeks, telling them not to pick Bronny because the Lakers are gonna select him at 55. He ain't just called all them damn teams today and said that. Because I guarantee you, if he did that, it was some owners that said that kind of went against that. So he had to been calling these people for weeks. And putting this in play. Because ain't no way in the hell. Ain't no way in the hell you just called it and they all agreed not to draft Bronny James. You had to been calling these people for weeks. You had to been talking to these different teams for weeks, telling them not to draft Bronny James. Now the news just came out today as if you did that today, but I can guarantee you ain't no way in the hell you called every team other than the Lakers and said don't draft Bronny today. You've been setting this up and doing this shit for the past few weeks now. Because if you were owner, you had to go against this and say, no, I'm taking Bronny. Every owner that he called ain't just bowed down and said, yeah, I agree, we're not going to do that. Y'all can take him. There, I guarantee you there was some GMs and there was some owners that went against that. That ain't just, everybody just ain't bow down and agree today not to draft Bronny because y'all was going to take the 55th pick. There's something that's been going on for weeks. They just put that information out today and made it seem like he did all that today. But I can see he's been doing that. They've been working on this for weeks. They behind the scenes been working on this for weeks. They basically been telling y'all that the Lakers are gonna take him with 55. They just ain't said it in them exact words, but in so many words, that's what they've been saying, just not in those exact words. They gonna take him at 55. You just gotta look at it and call it for what it is. They really just been had them hog tied, and they got a checklist of everything they need the Lakers to do. And it started with firing Darvin Ham, followed by getting JJ Redick over there. So they got 2-3 things off the checklist right now. They got Darvin Ham out. They got JJ Redick, JJ Redick. Now they got Bronny in an LA Lakers uniform. Now summer league starting 2 weeks, something like that. So we gonna see Bronny in action in a summer league uniform. So we gonna see in a couple weeks Bronny in action. I saw a couple of his USC games this season. I really didn't see I saw Bronny, but I didn't really see nothing flash or stand out to me. You know what I mean? He only averaged 4 points a game. And then somehow he went from being 6'4" to 6'3". So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of, you just gotta look into it. It's some weird shit going on over there, man. You can just look and see. You know what I mean? It ain't really much that's gotta be said. You can just look over there and see that it's some weird shit going on over there in LA. And this ain't a play that they just put together over the course of these last few days. This is a play they've been putting together probably throughout the course of the season. The first thing they had to do was get Darvin Ham fired. That was the first thing they had to do. And that was the first thing that was done. They got him fired. Then they got JJ Redick in there. So, I'm not sure what they're going to do in free agency. But I'm pretty sure they're going to do something. This just ain't the team they gonna roll out there with. So whatever assets they got, prepare for them to be gone. Whatever draft picks they got, prepare for them to be gone. Because JJ Redick with no coaching experience, then you got LeBron James over there who anytime you want to got a LeBron James team, it's in win now mode. So it's two ass backwards to me. You got a first time head coach with no experience, and then you got LeBron James who in win now mode. Which one you gonna do? Are you gonna go the route with the first year head coach, or you gonna go the route with the win now mode? You can't. It's gonna be hard to win now with a coach who ain't never coached before. So that's telling you that what he is over there. That's telling you that he's a puppet over there. And then you got guys like Sam Cassell who they won't even interview for a head coaching job. Won't even give a look at for a head coaching job. You got Mark Jackson out there who basically got blackballed out of being a head coach. All because he wasn't with the bullshit. Now he can't get a look at being a head coach. Not even being on somebody's bench as an assistant. He can't even get that. Which is crazy to me. And you got this guy, JJ Redick, who ain't got no head coaching experience at all, end up with the LA Lakers coaching job, the head coaching job. You got to make it make sense. You got to make it make sense. Laker fans can't even make it make sense. They in disbelief. Ain't no way in the hell somebody with a straight face and look at me and say they would. If you're a Laker fan, you're excited about JJ Redick being your head coach and you in win now mode. So they need to get a point guard over there. I don't know what they're gonna use to get one. So they got some issues going on over there. It was rumored that they was looking at Trae Young. That's when Trae Young was a Klutch client. As soon as Trae Young got off the Klutch and he ain't a Klutch client no more, them rumors died down. There was rumored to go be getting a coach for the young guys, a developmental coach that can develop young guys, because that's where the team gonna be going after in 2 or 3 years when LeBron retires. That's what the team gonna be. It's gonna be a team full of young guys. At that point, you might as well not even. But then you go and get JJ Redick with no head coaching experience. I mean, absolutely none. And you got guys out here worthy to get looked at for head coaching jobs and ain't. Like I said, he been on the bench for a damn decade and still can't get a look at over a decade probably, and still can't get a look for a head coach. But you go and get a JJ Redick. They telling you what it is. They going to get guys that's going right along with what they want to do. I'm talking about this play been set up for so long, and they just been stringing it along. And now the final straw that if you really read between the lines, the final straw is what Rich Paul did today. I mean, I ain't never heard no shit like that. I mean, call every didn't nobody go against that and say that's how you know it's been set up for a while now. Ain't no way in the hell he did all that in one day. Called all and everybody fell in line with it. You had to know everybody wasn't gonna fall in line with it. That's why you had to been doing this shit for weeks. You had to understand and know there was gonna be somebody that say no, because at the time people were trying to gear themselves up to possibly get LeBron James if they draft Bronny, because they knew it probably was gonna be a package deal. So that's how you know this shit been going on for weeks. Because people were actually gonna take Bronny. Other teams outside of LA were gonna consider drafting Bronny because there was more than likely, it was a good chance that it was gonna be a package deal that would have gotten them LeBron James. That ain't something that never came up. That's something that's been coming up weeks and weeks ago. That a team may take a chance on drafting Bronny James because it's a good chance that it's a package deal that LeBron will come with him too. So this ain't something that they just did today. This report just came out today, but this ain't something that they just did today. This is something they've been building up and doing for weeks over in LA. So this to say the state of the Lakers is a sad situation now. They not even the same franchise. I don't know what the hell Genie Bus got going on over there. That's probably why the hell Magic got out the way. Because a lot of shit was going on over there. So it's a mess going on over there, man. It's a mess going on over there, man. So if you're a Laker fan, you know, this shit is horrible. It's horrible. It don't make sense. I can't get it to make sense. I don't even know how the hell you get it to make sense, but it's not a good. It's not a good look. That shit is not a good look at all. And then you got people that actually have to go along with it, that probably like it and go along with it. So, I mean, if you 80, you probably sitting over there like, man, I hope this ain't what I signed up for. But yeah, you gotta understand, you gotta know when you're dealing with Klutch sports, shit like this can and will happen. It has happened. It is happening. So that's just the state of what's going on over there in LA right now, man. But yeah, I'm about to get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Damn YouTube Sports Talk. Like I said, subscribe to the show, hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I drop new content. Like the videos, and all my social media platforms is posted at the bottom. IG, my personal page is rap_sneaks. The sports page is damn_YouTube_sports talk. I'm on Twitter too at damn YouTube sports talk. So go to them platforms, follow me. And like I said, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like the videos. And I'm gonna keep dropping the content weekly. One shout out to AIG Productions for putting this together and sponsoring this, man. I appreciate it. Now,